you've likely heard me say before that if your business has no profit, it has no purpose. This is such an important distinction for you to understand as a business owner, because you as a business owner must turn a profit to actually create a sustainable business. I want to have a serious heart-to-heart with you in this podcast episode today, because my heart, where I thrive in teaching the wedding industry and impacting the wedding industry and creating this movement of wedding pros, is to help you understand that it's okay to make money in your wedding business. Because I do think that talking about money for yourself and your family and your business in the wedding industry is taboo. We don't like talking about making money in the wedding industry because at the core of who we are, most wedding pros have a servant's heart. You got into the industry because you love the industry. You love photographing someone's most important day, or you love mixing music and seeing the packed dance floor. You came into the industry because you had a passion for the craft that you do. But at some point in your business, you started to realize, oh my gosh, I don't actually get to do that craft very often because I also have to do taxes and payroll and hiring, like all the things in the back end, marketing, right? There's so many things that you as the business owner have to manage that are outside of your craft. And all of a sudden, you're thrust into this role that you never really fully expected. And I don't know about you guys, but I, for one, did not go to CEO school. I did go to business school, but when I was in college, I had no intention of working for myself. I always thought that I would work for a company, right? And so, yes, the financial classes came in handy, but I really genuinely knew I wanted to plan events. And so all of a sudden, when I got into my own business, I was like, what is all of this other stuff? Like, I am a baddie wedding planner. I feel like I was born to plan events. It's just like how my brain thinks. But all of a sudden, here we are. I'm 6 years into my business, and I'm just like, it feels like the wheels are going to fall off, right? And there was never enough money at the end of the month left over. I was like, how do we get to the place where there's enough money in the business? If you've ever felt this way, so much of the reason that we feel like that is because we don't run our business like a business. We run it like a creative, because at heart, that's who we are. That's how we started our businesses, right? We started as a creative doing the craft that we love to do. But the problem is you are a business owner. And I want to tell you that the reason I felt passionate about making this episode today is because so often wedding pros come into my accelerator program or come into my mastermind and they're like, Brandee, I feel like all we do is work and there never seems to be enough. And the reason for that is because you're thinking about your business like a creative. You're thinking about your business from that servant's mentality. And listen, that will serve you well as you build your client base. But you guys, listen to me, okay? It is so important that you understand that you are running a business. If you're running a charity or you're doing this for fun on the side, like as a hobby, that's great. Then let's call it what it is. Whatever it is that you do, if you love doing that, and it's something you just want to do on the side for no money, or maybe just somebody gives you like $100 here or there because you just love doing it, that's a hobby. So let's call it what it is, because if we're trying to create a business, you're basically going to bang your head against a wall if you're treating it like a hobby, but you're calling it a business. So that's what I want you to understand. If your business has no profit, it has no purpose, because for whatever the purpose was that you got into this industry, whether it was to have more time freedom, or whether it was to be more with your kids, whatever that purpose was that you got into the industry for, it won't continue to exist if you don't turn a profit. If you are in this business because you genuinely want to build a scalable business and you want it to be a full-time income for yourself, if you're not charging enough to turn a profit, you cannot continue to do that sustainably. And at some point, you cannot continue to work 80 hours a week and not pay yourself. At some point, there's gonna be a time where you realize, wait a second, I'm saying no to dinner with friends or hanging out with my kids on the weekends or going on a date night with my husband. All these things you're saying no to because of your business. And at some point, you're gonna realize if that business doesn't pay you money, it's not gonna be sustainable. So if there's no profit, there's no purpose. You can't continue to serve the purpose of your business if there's not profit there. Okay, so I've explained exactly what a hobby is, but for the purpose of this episode, I'm going to assume that you're trying to build a business. And so what I want to say to you, CEO, is I want you to hear me so clearly. Your business must make a profit and pay you a salary to be sustainable. If your business does not make a profit and or your business does not pay you a salary, it's a hobby. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I want to call it what it is. Now, let me be clear that there is a time and a season in your business, typically in the beginning, that you may not be turning a profit. You may be paying yourself a small amount of money. You may not be turning a profit because it does take time to build that up, right? You're usually spending more money than you're actually taking in, and that's okay. But there's a season for that. That season has to end. If you're in your business and you're going on year 4, 5, 6, 7, where you're not paying yourself a steady salary, then we need to evaluate where you are in your business, because it's either that you're not charging enough for your packages or that you're spending too much time servicing those packages. So you're charging a great amount of money for your market, but you're spending too much time servicing those packages. Okay, so we really want to focus on how do we make those packages more profitable? We either need to increase the price of your packages so that you could start to see profit. But if you're charging current market rates and you feel really good about your pricing, but you're still just like, Brandee, I am burned out, like I'm fried, I'm at my max, then what we need to look at is how much time you're spending servicing those packages. Because I can tell you from experience of working with over 1,000 wedding pros now, most often the problem is that you're over delivering in your packages, but you have to deliver an amount in each package that makes sense so that that package is still profitable. Because hear me, we are service-based business owners. We have a limited, finite amount of hours in the year. So if you over-deliver for the packages that you're selling, you're taking away from the amount of hours you have available to continue selling. So this is what I want you to really consider, is that you either need to increase the pricing of your packages, or you need to refine what you're delivering inside of each of your packages to make them more profitable. If you are in a place where you are like, I am working 80-hour weeks, 70-hour weeks, and there never seems to be enough money, profit is the issue, and I want to help you fix that. If this is you and you're like, Brandee, where do I start? I want you to head over to brandeegaar.com/budget. Right there, I have a free tool resource that you can download, and it will help you to get all of your expenses in one place so that you can see what that monthly break-even number is. Once you have that number, now we're working towards that number. But if you're listening to this and you're like, I genuinely have no idea how much money I need to make every single month just to break even. I don't even know that number. Let's start there, because that's the foundation. That's the amount of money that needs to come into your bank account every single month just to get us to a break-even point. And then from there, we can start working on, okay, now how do I build more profit? How do I build more profit so I can start building that team, scaling up my business, and really start to grow from there. You guys, thank you so much for being here in this episode. Absolutely love that you tune in every single week. I appreciate it so much. And hey, listen, if you are listening to this episode, CEO, and you're like, every Tuesday, I get so excited because I know Brandee's podcast is going to drop. Can I just ask you for a quick favor to just take 2 minutes and leave a review for us on the podcast? There's a link in the show notes below. You can click it. Your reviews help us to know what you're loving listening to, and it's helping other wedding pros that find our podcast for the very first time. So I would appreciate that so very much. And you guys, I will see you next time.